I'm in university studying to be a therapist. Having dealt with mental health issues on and off my entire life, I figured I would be a good person to help others with their own. I know the crushing weight of depression, like a sack of bricks on your chest, forcing you to remain in bed all day, unrelenting. I understand the toll that it can take on your life and relationships. I felt so lucky to have made it through, to have seen the light at the end of the tunnel, that I felt it was my destiny to grab onto the hands of others deep in their own struggles, to pull them through to the other side as well. I've enjoyed school so far. It's honestly been a dream come true. A dream I never allowed myself to have when I was young. When I was in high school, I never expected to make it to adulthood. The idea of growing up was almost incomprehensible as growing a third arm. All of the other students around me were planning for college, for future careers, the beginning of the rest of their lives. I just watched them in their naive excitement, feeling so very different, so very separate, almost as if I existed in an entirely different reality. Their voices were muffled, their ambitious smiles clouded by my own dejection. I felt like I got a new lease on life when I finally overcame my depression, studied hard, and I managed to get into a decent university. I'm in the middle of an introductory unit to psychosis, and in class the other day, we were assigned to take part in a voices simulation. The experience involves listening to several audio tracks, about 40 minutes in total, of what a person experiencing psychosis might hear all the time. We were meant to do our regular classroom activities while listening to the voices. The intent behind the activity was to give us an understanding of how difficult it can be for someone who hears voices to do the things they need and want to do in their everyday lives. It's apparently a really good and accurate simulation of what hearing voices is like. I wouldn't know because I didn't listen to it. When my professor, Dr. Tony, gave us the link to the audio tracks, I typed it into my phone. She cautioned the class that the simulation could be quite distressing, especially for individuals who have experienced mental health issues in the past. I figured my past depression would actually help me, so I wasn't too worried. Once the website loaded and I located the audio tracks, I exhaled deeply before sinking my headphones and pressing play. First, there was just dead noise for about 30 seconds, static blaring through my headphones. The shocked reactions of my classmates' faces made me feel almost crazy for not hearing anything. But then it started. Voices. Quiet, chittering, whispering. The sounds were certainly creepy, but I could deal. I set to work on the session's assignment, mostly tuning out the background noise. I was pretty used to muting my inner dialogue anyway. A few minutes in, a kind, gentle woman's voice came over the track. "You are incredible," she cooed, the tones warm as they melted into my ears. "We chose you for a reason. You are special. You know you are special. You are the one. You are the one to lead the way." I'm embarrassed to admit how comforting this was. Not just the words, but the soothing way in which the woman delivered them as well. Several minutes had passed and I had yet to scrawl any answers down on my worksheet. A quick survey on the classroom revealed that I was not the only one stuck in the first question. Dread was written across their faces. I feigned the emotion myself until another voice cut the kind woman short and brought the emotion into reality. "You A man's voice slithered down my ear canals, vitriol dripping from the single syllable. "You are dirt. Nothing more than mud on the bottom of a shoe," it taunted before adding in a jeery sing-song, "I know what you did." I wanted to turn it off, but something kept me from doing so. Perhaps my own pride. Perhaps a desire to hear what generic wrongdoing this unknown man would accuse me of. "Oh, so you want to play it then, huh? Ha!" The voice laughed in my ears, brash and abrupt, causing me to flinch instinctively. My eyes shifted to scan the room briefly, embarrassed of my reaction. Thankfully, it didn't seem like anyone noticed. The man's voice softened, becoming almost tender and sweet as it asked, "I love the beach. Don't you?" The sounds of waves crashing on soft sand and seagulls yelping followed the question. My blood ran cold as my hands grew clammy. "When I'm at the beach, you know what I love to do." I shook my head furiously in silent response to the voice, reality sinking around me as I could practically feel the sand between my toes, warm and gritty and itchy. "I like to build sandcastles," the voice sneered, its smile practically audible through the words. A few moments of silence passed, broken only by the repeated squawking of seagulls, the noise growing harsh and unnatural, beastly. "Help! Help! Mallory, help me!" I swallowed loudly, a sudden dryness in my mouth making the action laborious. It was the voice of my brother, eternally arrested in its youthfully high pitch. The sound of a large wave crashed over the track. I could almost feel the mist of its impact, spattering across my face as salt pricked my taste buds. "You told your parents you were old enough to go alone. You told them that you would watch Spence, but you were too busy building a sandcastle to pay attention until it was too late." The voice's accusation threatened to split my skull. "Because you're dirt, Mallory. You're trash. You're nothing." Shoving my chair backwards, I ripped the headphones from my ears and shouted, "No!" Having escaped the voices, I found my footing back in reality almost instantly. The shame of my overreaction seized me. I scanned my surroundings, observing the looks of my classmates' faces as they removed their own headphones and assessed my outburst, confused and worried and horrified. Dr. Tony, always poised and composed, paced towards me to tap me on the shoulder and then gestured to the door. I followed her out of the classroom into the hallway. "Mallory, what happened?" she probed, her sapphire earrings glinting under the unforgiving overhead lights, their hue as deep as the open ocean. I shook my head gently, mortified. "I don't know exactly. It was okay for a while, but it got really creepy when the voices started saying my name," I confessed, wringing my hands anxiously. I didn't want to reveal the full truth of what I had actually heard. Dr. Tony's eyes widened suddenly, and I almost felt bad for causing her any distress with my undue reaction. "You heard your name." I only nodded in response, unsure of what to say, my concern only growing. "Let me see your phone," she rushed, extending a perfectly manicured hand. I complied, unlocking and handing over my phone. As Dr. Tony scrolled through the simulation page, her jaw dropped. What is this? This isn't the link that I gave you. It's similar. It looks almost exactly like the same page, but I don't know what this is," she stammered, hands quivering, her grip on my phone precarious. I need to listen to this. I'm sorry, Mallory." She pulled out her own pair of headphones and plugged them in. She relinquished my phone several minutes later without a word. Needless to say, I was fairly shaken, and so I cut the rest of my classes and I went home. I was having trouble falling asleep, so I put on some music. Eventually, my eyelids grew heavy and sleep finally arrived. My rest proved to be anything but restful as I drifted in and out of slumber. Several hours into the night, the sound of chittering voices crept into my ears, snickering and whispering harshly. The man's voice came almost immediately this time. "You are nothing, Mallory. Nothing." Still hazy from sleep, I was almost thankful when the woman's voice returned. "Don't listen to him, Mal. You are the one. You are the one to lead the way." Her voice was exuberant, ebullient, engulfing, in its endless love and acceptance. The man's voice shotted once more in my ear, startling me out of my semi-restful state. I tore my headphones off, desperate for some sense of relief. I was unsettled to find that my playlist had ended, and the simulation audio tracks had not been cued to play at all. Even more unsettling still, the voices slowly trickled back into my mind, despite the fact that I had removed my headphones. First came the low, droning whispers, followed by the two voices quarreling with one another regarding my worth. I argued back in a futile attempt to settle their disputes, much like I did with my parents for years after Spencer had passed. I didn't sleep for the rest of the night. Apparently Dr. Tony didn't either, because I received a call from her at 4 that morning. "Hello?" I answered cautiously, unsure of how to proceed. Bizarre voices aside, I had never talked to a professor on the phone before, let alone outside of normal business hours. "Mallory," she whispered, paranoia readily apparent in her tone. "Mallory, do you hear them?" "Of course she does. She is nothing without us," the man hissed. "Shh, shh, shh," the woman purred, clucking gently as her words embraced me. "We will never leave her. She is the one. She is everything." Yes," I stuttered, mind weak from lack of sleep. "Do you?" "Don't listen to them, Mal," she pleaded. "I don't know what the hell is going on, but they are lying to you. Don't listen." "No, Mal, she's lying to you. You can trust us," the woman soothed. The man cut in curtly. Tell her what she did." "Dr. Tony?" I squeaked, rubbing my forehead with the heel of my palm. "Yes, Mallory." I gritted my teeth against a message I did not want to pass along, but I had no choice. They say it's your fault. You lost the baby." The line disconnected immediately. I went to class the next day, and the day after that. I've sat through lectures, participated in class, done assignments, but I'm just going through the motions, really. I know I am destined for much more than this education or career now. Apparently, Dr. Tony took a leave of absence, checking herself into a mental health facility. My classmates were all surprised, but I wasn't really. Not at all. She was weak. The voices broke her. I'm stronger than her, and I know that for a fact. The voices, while initially jarring, they build me up, fortify me. The woman, her soft voice constantly chanting in my ear. She is right. I am the one to lead the way.